coming up on a Get Loud podcast. First of all, great guest Lamont Roach.
Oh, the champ is here.
The champ fighting for the belt here in just a few days. Also, we're going to make predictions for next season.
Yes.
And it is, I got to make sure I get this right for Anna, Flashback Friday.
Blast from the past. Let's talk.
How's it going, guys? It is the Get Loud podcast. Smoot Jinx. It's presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Find tickets to Commanders games at more SeatGeek. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, brother. How about you, man?
Oh, I'm just a couple weeks away from vacation.
Tell us where you're going.
St. Martin.
Ooh, first of all, when you're going anywhere that start with the word Saint,
Oh, it's a good place.
it's a good place. All right, most definitely.
Cannot wait.
So you're going to leave me in this cold, huh? That's
You'll be
what
all
you
right.
gotta do.
You'll be all right. Mm-hmm. You're always shining.
Don't worry, my birthday comes up in a couple of months, so, April.
When's your birthday?
April 17th.
Oh, okay.
Aries, start of the zodiac, purest form of the zodiac. Diamond is the stone.
Didn't you win a bet with Anna and Kayla?
Yeah, about Aries being the start
Yes.
of the zodiac calendar.
Yes.
Yes, you know. First of all, Anna and them, they challenge my mind all the
Your
time.
intellect.
And I always tell them you're going to lose when you try to do that with me because this mind is full of useless facts, all right? And I could just spew them out at any time.
It's crazy. It's the things, it'll be like we won't believe you on certain things that you're like surprisingly like correct about.
Yes, even academics. She asked me academic questions. Where is this village? And it started in 1700.
Yeah, you should be on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader or something? Or
No, Jeopardy.
Celebrity.
I think you would do well
I'm
on
an
Jeopardy.
Alice Trebek. Listen, Trebek raised me. All right? Trebekian. That's what I am.
Oh, okay.
I was like, listen, I need to go on Jeopardy. I don't even want to go against football players because I blow them out. I want to go against the other minds.
You need to
in the
go
world.
against the other great minds.
The other great minds is who I want to go against. Yes, most definitely.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, even Tana one time was like, this boy, he was like, he just absorbs everything that he looks at, listens to, and he's always into something.
Well, I think to be a good trash talker, I think you have to absorb everything. Like, cause you have to be you have to have some spontaneity to you. Like, and that takes you have to think fast. You have to think very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think people take that for granted. I don't think you can be a unintelligent trash talker.
Oh, then you end up looking foolish.
No. Then you end up looking like the fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, since you're holding on to football,
Yeah, Tater.
then we're talking off-season predictions because ESPN came out with a long article and they were talking about early Super Bowl picks, which team is going to take a step forward, take a step back,
Of
MVP.
course.
Well, you know, it's the off-season. People still want to talk about the NFL.
Yeah.
So what is your early Super Bowl pick for Super Bowl, 60 now?
I'm going to say we are.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 60. Wow.
Crazy, right?
All right. Early predictions. Now, everybody expected me to just be a homer right here.
Yeah.
Be a homer. Why wouldn't I be a homer when we was 4 quarters away from the big game? Why wouldn't I believe when I feel like Adam Peters did a masterful job last year and he's only going to add to the pile this year? Why wouldn't I believe when I feel like in this dynasty of Adam Peters, J.5, and the rest of these guys, this is the worst we going to be? So if this year is the worst we going to be, why not go to the Super Bowl this year? All right? This is what I'm going to say right now. I'm going to go with a Beltway Super Bowl.
I was just going to say Ravens. Like Lamar's ready to take it's time.
I'm going to say
it's time.
I just feel like Lamar is going to get over the hump.
He has to.
And while he getting over the hump, we going to say follow that bus. Follow that bus. It ain't nothing like to hear your homeboy when y'all out. He like, you know what? He done made his mind up. He finna do something. And he say, hold my beer, mine.
No,
When he say, hold my beer, mine, you know, he got a mission.
Yes.
That he's about to complete. So I think the Ravens get over their hump and we follow that bus. A Commanders, Ravens, Super Bowl. That's my too early prediction right now. Because if anybody's feeling the heat right now, it's 2 quarterbacks in the AFC that's feeling it. And that's Lamar Jackson and Buffalo's own.
And Josh, but especially Lamar.
But they both. Josh Allen?
Yes.
Like they're both like tit for tat. Like they're right where John Elway was.
I think the one thing is Josh gets more credit because even in big games, he's performed. He still plays well.
But he still comes up short.
He does, but it's more of like his team lets him down. Whereas Lamar, at least that's the knock on Lamar, is in big games he doesn't look like the guy he did during the regular season.
Think about this with Josh. He has the lead with 13 seconds left. Mm-hmm. Gives Mahomes the ball. He drives the ball down the field. Scores, it's over with. I can't even get this dude 13 seconds.
I mean, that's the thing. Even when he does everything, it's just like he gets let down.
That's what I'm saying. So one of them has to get over the hump.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the one that I feel got the most complete team.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Ravens. So Ravens, Commanders, that's where we at.
Ravens were mentioned a ton in that article, but I'll let you
No,
share your thoughts, Jinx. But
it's your show.
Oh no! It's not my show. It's your guys' show. I'm just here. But I was going to share like what some people thought. Ravens were brought up a ton. Okay. We had Chiefs Commanders brought up, and they said prepare for the potential of 2 weeks of is Jaden Daniels the next Mahomes leading up to the Super Bowl.
Is he just the first Jedi? Is he just the first Jedi?
And this other one that was very interesting was the Bengals Commanders.
I like the Bengals a lot.
I don't know because, all right, we know they cheap, right? They got T. Higgins they got to sign, which they probably franchised him.
They're going to franchise him.
That's $27 million. All right, they got the DN.
Yeah.
He 17
Trey
sacks.
Hendrickson?
He led the league in sacks. You're not going to pay 5 people number one in their position. That's just not how they operate.
They say they're going to, but how are they going to do it?
They got to try to bring Hendricks back. All right, so I don't see the Cincinnati situation getting better.
Yeah,
I just don't. Not before it gets worse. So if I had to pick a team right now, a dark horse out of the AFC, I don't know if it's Cincinnati.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't know if they're gonna have the team together like they did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I see the Bills being a step better. Mm-hmm. I feel the Ravens a step better. And the last time the Chiefs got beat like this, they went reloaded.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all I'm saying is I just don't know when it comes to the Bengals. Now switching to the NFC, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or maybe it's an eagle in the room. All right?
They're very good.
They're very good, and they're very young.
Yes.
Like, they're going to lose Brandon Graham. Okay. Like, they are the measuring stick in the NFC. Right now. No, I take that back. They are the measuring stick in the NFL. In the NFL, they are the measuring stick. So we got to get past that hump. Did we beat them once this year?
Yeah.
Yes. Did we let them off the hook at home? Yes. Are we afraid of them? No. But we got to beat them.
No, that's true. And also they're managed very well. Like,
yes.
Whether you like them or not, there's a reason why they draft.
Show respect.
Yes, they have. They've absolutely got it done.
They got it done.
Potentially. Mm-hmm. Can you just imagine if we had 2 weeks of Ravens versus Commanders? Can you imagine this area? It would be electric. I would drive up and down I-95 just to soak it in.
Just head out the window.
Oh, my God. Like a dog.
Like, listen to me. Like, nobody's going to work.
Right.
The DMV travels well. Like, we would legitimately have an empty city for the week of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, nobody would be here. Nobody would be in the DMV at all. What city is it going to be in? It's not Atlanta.
Where's the Super Bowl this next year?
Oh, my God.
Is it L.A.?
No. I feel like it's like Houston or something.
I don't even know.
Well, I don't think it's
San
Houston.
Francisco?
San Francisco.
Is it Levi Stadium?
I think
it's Levi's Stadium. I don't know why I thought Houston.
It's San Francisco. I don't think that's going to compare to New Orleans, what just happened.
No.
San Fran is not that city.
I like San Francisco.
I know.
But it's not.
It's not centralized.
Right.
Like New Orleans. Like New Orleans, once you get there, it's out your car. You never get back in your car again.
Right, yeah.
Like, I feel like if I go to San Francisco, I'm going to be driving a Tesla around the whole time, trying to find out where the spots are to go to. But I don't know if they want this East Coast to come take over the West Coast like that.
Oh, I would love it.
It would be crazy.
It would be unbelievable.
What else we got, Anna?
All right. Oh, well, Jinx. Jinx can read it.
No, go right ahead, Anna.
Okay, who's your...
The less I do, the better. I'll just drink my coffee.
Well, who's your pick for next season's MVP?
I think it's Joe Burrow. Like, look, Joe Burrow, and I know he was in that article a lot.
Could have won it this year.
But if he led the NFL in touchdown passes and passing yards this past season, and people which is crazy to say, but it was Lamar, Josh, and those guys were deserving. Joe Burrow was unbelievable. And it's kind of like what I said about, I used to say about Josh Allen. This guy isn't going to go his whole career without winning an MVP. Yeah. And I feel the same about Joe Burrow. He's going to win an MVP at some point.
I'm going to go left.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's going to be the first time in years that it's a non-quarterback that wins MVP. I'm going to go with the running back position. All right. I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, or Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
I think the re-emergence of the running back, I'm so happy for the position. Because every time they try to down and belittle a position, that position shows up that year. They did it with tight end a couple of years ago, and they just flipped it on his head. And this year, King Henry and Saquon, 2,000 yards, they showed you that no running game, no Super Bowl. That's just the way it is. Because when it's cold outside, December, championship time, January, you got to run the ball. So I'm going to say, first non-quarterback in maybe a decade wins the MVP next year, and I just gave you 3 candidates. I think Bijan Robinson going to be a little lower on the risk because I don't see the Falcons winning. Yeah. They can win the South.
Yeah.
I don't know if they win enough for him to win MVP, but Eagles easily with Saquon, all right? And Jahmyr Gibbs, my God.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
God's gift to running backs. So I think it's going to be a running back this year.
Do you think the pendulum is swinging where it's been a passing league for so long, and Saquon's been a huge part of the Jahmyr Gibbs, the guys you mentioned. Are we seeing a shift more towards, will we see more of a shift towards running backs?
If you want to protect your quarterback, if you want to dominate a game, if I want to beat a good quarterback, I need a good running back to do it.
Yeah.
All right, because I need to keep him on that sideline, and the way I do that is 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust. All right. So all I'm saying, I'm not saying the pendulum is swinging. I'm saying it's coming back to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
All right. So it's going to be about. Nobody's going to sit here and say this is a passing league, which I never said it.
Yeah.
Did they pass more? Yes. But running is always going to be a part of this game. It's called football.
I think that's interesting. Nobody put a running back as an option, but I think that's a really creative way to look at it.
Well, I could have went deep and said the first kicker gonna win since Mark Mosley. But nobody would have believed me then.
Yes. Daniels got brought up a few times in this article, but it was interesting because it was just the fact that he's getting more established. But yeah, lots of mentions of Joe Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen.
Who was the number 1 pick?
Who's the most? I think it was Lamar. Lamar. It was Burrow.
They're
Joe
right there.
Burrow. Consensus.
And you know, it's so like narrative matters a lot because you could make a strong argument that Lamar should have won over Josh Allen this year.
Yeah, but they had Lamar fatigue.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, but it's Josh's time.
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes that happens too, where if it's close, you kind of give it to the guy.
So you think they'll give it to Joe Burrow?
If it's close,
they'll
say
his hair is better than his.
Yes, look at that hair.
Yeah, we have to pick Joe. Joe cool. You know, Joe Shiesty, one of my favorites. I enjoy watching him play football.
A hell of a player.
The next topic was name one team, coach, or player who will break out in 2025.
One team. All right, we was the breakout team this year.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think I would exclude us.
All right, so I'm going to exclude us. Breakout team, I would say, depending on what the Raiders do.
Oh. Raiders?
Depends on the quarterback, because Brock Bowers, I told people before the draft, he was a dog. He had the best rookie tight end season of all times. They got players over there at the Raiders. And it's something about, like, you know how some guys just got the Midas touch?
Yep.
All right. Magic Johnson has the Midas touch. He touches it, it turns to gold.
It's true.
He touched us, turned to gold. Touched the Dodgers, turned to gold. The Lakers was already gold when he made it there. All right. Tom Brady has the Midas touch.
Okay.
He's going to touch the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to start to bling up. I got a feeling that they're going to start to move forward, especially now they got a head coach.
Who's their quarterback?
Shedeur Sanders is probably going to be the quarterback.
You think they're going to get him?
Why not?
I'm just wondering, where do the Raiders pick in the draft? I don't even know.
I think it's like 4
I need to
or
look
5.
that up. Okay.
It's like 4 or 5.
Okay, he could be there then. He could be
Yeah,
there.
because I believe New York, because of the head coach and the GM under so much fire, they will not take a young quarterback and try to save their job with their young quarterback.
Yeah.
They're going to try to do a Matt Stafford to try to come save their job. So there go one team there. So let's just say Cam Ward is the first quarterback off the board. That slides Shedeur automatically because the other teams don't need quarterbacks. Unless Tennessee tired of Will, the mayonnaise man Levis, and they want to let him go. But then he slides right into the Raiders. And with him playing in Colorado, everything works.
You know what team I really like? They had a playoff team last year. I think the Chargers are going to be something. Justin Herbert lost his mind in that game against the Texans. He was not good. But Harbaugh is a really good head coach.
Yes, he's think about it. They got Andy Reid, Harbaugh, Pete Carroll,
and Sean Payton all in the same division.
All in the same.
Crazy.
Could that be the best head coached division?
I think it has to be.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's some guys over there. Got Super Bowl guys.
Yes. All 4 of those guys are potential, 3 of them are Hall of Famers, right?
That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be crazy. I just think the Raiders, I think they're going to rise from the ashes. I really do.
Do you? All right.
And I think the 49ers are headed the opposite direction.
Okay. So you don't think it's going to be a bounce back year for them?
I think their window, I think they missed it. I think they legitimately missed their window. Debo is about to be gone. He is so much part of that identity. Trent is a year older.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy finna make 35, 40 million.
He is.
Brandon Ayuk coming off an injury. Greenlaw finna be gone. Ward, the corner, finna be gone. They hurt him in the cap.
You got to assume, you got to hope and pray that Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, and he probably won't.
He'll probably be going to Europe to try to get his calves worked up. So I feel like they are the team that's decaying right in front of our eyes, and nobody wants to talk about it.
You know a player, I don't know if he's going to make a run next year, but I think is the most fascinating player in the NFL coming up is Bryce Young.
You know what? I was pulling for Bryce. He looked good this year.
And what's interesting is that it's gone from awful rookie season, but at the second half of last year,
he looked good.
Started playing some good football, and now you're hearing the Panthers saying, all right, we got our quarterback now.
Yeah.
So I am fascinated to see in year 3 if he takes the next step.
Are you going to get him any weapons?
That's key.
That's going to be the question. Can you protect him? Can you get him weapons? And can the ownership get out the way?
Yeah.
That's going to be what it is right there with him. But I'm pulling for Bryce Young.
Too.
I don't like to see guys fail. I know it's part of football, but I also like to see guys get a fair shot. And I didn't feel like he had a fair shot.
I agree.
So,
He's going to get his shot next year. Which team will take it? Oh, I'm sorry, Anna. I was
just going to say, those are both really interesting teams because you didn't even hit the team that was most popularly answered.
And what team was that? The Giants?
Bears.
I just feel like their division.
It's so tough.
I think Minnesota is still a better team than Chicago. Detroit is a better team, especially when they ain't got 15 people injured. It's a better team. I feel like Green Bay is a better team.
They're young, but they're good.
I'm just saying, they're young, but they ready. I'm just saying. That's a hard division.
I think if you look at us, our team.
We was the same thing.
Yeah, we were unexpected and saw success. And I wonder if that's the speculation. They have a quarterback. They're set there. They need to just build around him.
New head coach, very good coach, offensive-minded head coach.
Who knows the NFC North?
I just feel like the Vikings, I can't wait to see them with J.J. McCarthy. Yeah. First of all, I just feel like they got the better overall squad.
Yeah.
Detroit is the toast of the division, ain't they? Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, they're not losing it. They did lose their offensive coordinator. They lost their defensive coordinator. So do they take a step back like the Eagles did?
Maybe.
They lost their 2 coordinators as head coaches? I just feel like it's a log jam right there. And I love Caleb, DC native. but he is emotional. And he wears these emotions on his sleeve. Your quarterback can't do that.
Yeah.
Your quarterback cannot do that. So, yeah, I think the Bears are a team to be on that watch list.
Okay.
I just think their division just so strong.
I think that has a lot to do with it because there is talent there.
No, it's
There's no
tons of
question.
talent.
Yeah, they have
on
talent.
the Bears. Listen, if it weren't for us ruining their season, they probably would have had a winning season this year.
And don't you think that Matt Eberflus probably cost him at least like 2 or 3 games?
Easily.
Easy.
Like, they should have known that coming in before the year. When I'm getting a new quarterback, the first thing I would have said, I got to get a new head coach.
Yeah.
I want them to enter together. All right, like, so that was their mistake trying to hold on to nostalgia of the past anyway. So I don't know. But I see why people say the Bears. I just don't know about the division.
No, I hear you.
All right. Well, last one. So which team will take a step back in 2025?
So basically, you're asking me who overachieved. Mm-hmm. That's the question, really, you ask me.
Yes.
Who overachieved? I think the Tampa Bay Bucks
Good one.
take a step back. I think Baker still has a hell of a year, but Mike Evans is a year older. I think that defense is starting to age out. I think the Falcons are going to be better, and I think the Panthers are going to be better. The Saints, they might well put the bag back over their head. It's over with.
Aints.
Yeah, but I believe that because of what they doing in Atlanta with Michael Penix and what they doing in Carolina with Bryce Young, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take a step back. What say you?
I was going to say Lions but taking a step back is relative. And what I mean by that is when I say take a step back, I'm not saying like
Miss the playoffs.
Right, the Lions aren't going to go 8-9.
Yeah.
Like they're a winning football team.
At least 10 games.
Yeah, they're going to win at least 10 games. Will they struggle to adjust to their new coordinators? The Eagles did that and had to get right first.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson is such a dynamic play caller. That offense, as creative as it was, it's hard to replicate that.
No, you can't. Come on. Each one of the offensive linemen got touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You just don't see that.
No, you don't. So it's going to be, but I know Dan Campbell, so I'm sure he had somebody grooming somebody.
Yeah.
All right. But I don't know if they can beat Ben Johnson.
And when I take a step back, I'm like, yeah, but it's still a playoff team.
Yeah, still a playoff team. But, I can see them taking a step back. On the AFC, who could I see taking a step back?
What do you think about the Chiefs? Are we overreacting? It was one game. Look, it was the Super Bowl against the juggernaut. Are we overreacting? You hear a lot of people, it's over for the Chiefs. It's over. It's one game.
I don't think it's over for the Chiefs. Long as Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes.
That's the way I feel.
Partnered up.
They're fine.
Don't you worry about that.
Right.
No. They ain't going to take no step back. No, they're not, ever.
They can be back in the Super Bowl next year. Wouldn't surprise me.
The only time I'm going to say they're going to take a step back if Andy Reid after next year say he retiring.
Yeah.
Then the Chiefs as a whole going to take a step back.
I agree.
But other than that, no. No, they're just not. I'm sorry. Now, is their division getting better? Is there competition in their division? Yes. It's getting a ton better. They used to just run through there freely. I don't think they're going to happen no more.
And I think you answered it too early, which is San Francisco. Like, that's a team that's going to take. I mean, I know they were not good this year,
yeah,
but it was because of injuries and things just kind of went by the wayside. But even relative to expectations next year, I feel like maybe they just don't have it.
The San Francisco 49ers missed their window, and now they're going to be in mediocrity for maybe next 5 years.
Yeah.
Even though they got guys like Fred Warner and Bosa, they got dudes.
Yeah.
But when you got those dudes, you got to pay those dudes. They don't allow you to build up the rest of their roster. I think they take a major step back.
We got Lamont Roach Jr. coming up. Got a huge fight coming up. The champ is here. Mm-hmm. From D.C., Commanders fan as well. He's coming up here in just a few moments. But first, what do we have to do? We got to pay those bills.
Why not pay those bills?
Get Loud Podcast is brought to you by Bet365, official sports betting partner of the Washington Commanders. Bet on a range of NFL markets with the Bet365 app. Craft your own personalized bet slip with Parlay. Access thousands of games with live streaming. Place your bet before the match or bet during the game. It's up to you. Download the Bet365 app today and join 80 million members worldwide. Age 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. A gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
and MWAA. We don't travel to escape life like Jinx is about to do. We travel so life don't escape us. We dream of any place in the world, and in the blink of an eye, we're there. That's the wonder of flight. All you have to do is decide where to. Dulles International Airport. Let your imagination soar. Book your adventure today at flydulles.com/nonstop.
Beautiful.
I tried, man, Mississippi State blessed me with education.
I sure did. And now we get to talk about something. Here's a phrase you don't hear anymore. The sweet science.
A boxing.
Boxing.
Yes, the champ is here.
Now we have a couple of special guests. We're going to bring in Lamont Roach Jr. getting ready for
The champ!
Mm-hmm. Got a huge fight coming up very shortly. We're going to talk about that. And retired U.S. Navy SEAL John Hawley joining us as well because you guys work together. And John, we wanted to start with you because you're a part of something very special called SEALs in Recovery. And again, Lamont is very familiar with this. So tell us about this program and why it's so important to you.
And thanks for your service.
Absolutely.
Starting it off.
Oh, well, thanks, boys. I don't have a real football team because I'm a Giants fan and they've been banished for
God.
like 9 years now. So I can't even.
We gonna pray for you, John.
Oh, there's no hope with the Maras. I mean, I've been a fan forever, but that's another story. I'm not going to drink over it. How's that?
Oh, man.
So first of all, I want to thank, Lamont and his crew, and of course, Pure Water. And linking up with Lamont and his crew is very easy. They support vets. They got a terrific community service track record. They're overall nice people, and it's very, very easy to be a fan of this young man. And I wish him all the best, and God has his back in his fight. I'm looking forward to seeing him walk around the ring with that title in his hand and that belt above his head. So that being said, SEALs in Recovery is dear to my heart. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for 13 and a half years. We saw a need to help other SEALs and special operations folks after the global war on terrorism had stopped, and people are left with all the things they've done downrange, the family problems, the things they've seen, the PTSD, the depression. So we saw urgent need for a special operations meeting only, and we started about 4 years ago. We have an outreach program where we get to guys before rehab. We get them into rehab. We monitor their progress in rehab, and then we have we run parallel with their IOP, which is intensive outpatient process for counseling. And we immediately take them under our wing, get them in our signal group, try to go see them if possible, and form that bond for sober SEAL sober service member. And there's nothing like a peer-to-peer relationship and meeting guys where they're at that time, and then moving out with whatever program they desire, whether it's Alcoholics Anonymous, Smart Recovery, clergy, clinician, counselor, swim buddy, mentor, sponsor, call it what you want, but peer-to-peer absolutely works, as you guys know, being athletes.
John, I want to know, how do you locate them? Because people are not just running to say I have a problem, are raising their hands. How do you find these guys when they need help, and sometimes they don't know how to ask for help?
So that's very interesting, and I just got done with my shrink for an hour and a half. I got my own set of issues that I'm working through, including some daddy issues. That being said, in the 90s and the 2000s, you couldn't ask for help. Now it's accepted that we got some real problems, and that stems across from pro athletes, football, baseball, hockey, where guys are actually getting some help now. Back in the day, you didn't want to ask for help because nobody would want to work with you. So now it's a tricky wicket in the fact that it is Alcoholics Anonymous, recovery is anonymous. So getting the message out has been a bit tricky in the early stages, but we've took the governor off. We're full throttle. We're getting our message out there, and this program is becoming, it's an attractive program to people get help because, you guys been through your training camps, your colleges, your fraternities, and you can't tell anybody what that's like unless you've been through it. So as a SEAL, when a guy comes to me, you're not going to tell me shit about being a SEAL. I did it for 17 years. I've been in recovery for almost 14 years. So I can meet that cat wherever he is in his addiction. He can't bullshit me. So it's becoming a real attractive program for folks to try to get help in because, it's a closed loop with this particular group with getting help. And they've been calling from our website, from our social media, and a lot for guys that are off the grid just by, it's a very small community, like pro athletes, boxers, NFL guys. The word is getting out to guys that are even off the grid that are in isolation. So that's how we're getting members.
Lamont, I want to switch over to you now because you got a huge fight coming up. You're moving up in weight class as well, and you're someone who has waited for this moment for a long time. So where's your mindset at, and how jacked are you for this fight against Tank?
Man, I'm super excited, man. I can't wait. It's fight week. It's getting closer. I have so many supporters, so many true supporters, so many loved ones, so many people backing me, and thanks to you guys. Shout out to Shields in Recovery. Shout out to Pure Water.
Yeah.
Just everyone, man. Just making everything just just super comfortable for me. I put my work in. I pride myself in my hard work. And I'm honest. I'm very honest when it comes to the grind, and I don't cheat the grind. So my main thing is going out there and doing what I know how to do and doing what I love. If I do that, no one can beat me.
Well, that's the funny thing about it. Football is the ultimate team sport, but also playing cornerback, we kind of one-on-one on that highway out there. So it's a one-on-one battle. In boxing and tennis and these type sports, golf, they are purely one-on-one sports, man on man, a mano y mano. So didn't you used to spar with this guy? Didn't you used to train with Tank? So you have a familiarity with him, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. We sparred when we was kids. We fought a few times when we were 15. So yeah, I have a little familiarity with him. My dad even coached him for a week in the national championship. So
yeah,
it's a lot of familiarity.
And I want to pick your brain a little bit because I have been a cornerback that's been burnt on national TV. All right, and I know, and it takes a little piece of your soul every time that happens. All right, go take me back to that one loss that you had. Take me back there mentally after that loss. Where were you, and how did you dig yourself out of that?
Man, just to piggyback off what you said, man, it took a lot out of me for real. I wasn't used to that. I was 20. I had 20-some fights, no losses. So, it really crushed me. I didn't know how to handle it, honestly. Even, in my humility, I took it, I accepted it in the moment. But, man, when I got home, it was dark. It was dark. So, I eventually, it took a lot of love and a lot of support to dig me up out my hole, and then to get back off my butt and be like, man, hey, this ain't where you're supposed to be. Let's get up and show them where you're really supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. Because like I said, personally as an athlete, I know mentally I had to take myself home, build myself back up, and say, you know what, I'm the baddest DB in the NFL. Let's see what happens next week. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what happens next week, Jinx.
So Lamont,
Yeah.
You're moving up in weight class here. You're going from super featherweight to lightweight. So what is that process like? What has the challenge been like? Because
to keep that weight on?
Yeah, I mean that's a big deal, and this could be a bit new for you.
So this is a funny thing. A lot of people probably from the outside looking in probably thinking like this is a big jump.
Yeah.
In all reality, I'm a bigger guy than him. And that's just just calling a spade, and obviously just looking at the physique and whatnot. I make 130 because I can make 130 and maximize my size, and I can do it comfortably. Tank fights at 135 because he can make the weight comfortable. He's a guy that floats around at the weight. I come down from about 15 pounds heavier, 20 pounds heavier.
All right.
That's the thing. So for me, it's a burden lifted off me, honestly, because it's 5 less pounds I have to lose. Those last 5 pounds are really are the toughest, because once you run out of the fat to lose, once you run out of, once you hit a wall, once you run out of the water weight, once you run out of the little, the little stuff you could shake easy, it get a little tough. So now I don't have to worry about that. I can get down to 35 easy. I can see 40 like that. Like I can see 140 like that. Last 5 pounds is easy.
Now, you're known for your defensive strategy and the way you defensively fight players. Do you feel like Tank's fighting style and your fighting style? Do you feel like they mesh together, or do you feel like it's kind of some oddities right there in the fighting styles?
I know 100% for a fact March 1st that night that the styles are going to mesh to the point where people are considering it that it will be fight of the year.
Fight of the year. They're saying a lot now. And we talking about now, like this fight has been built up to be one of those fights. Like, I can understand, like, I know how I feel to run out there in Northwest Stadium. 80,000 people, the crowd is roaring. But I think nobody has the entrance like a boxer. Like, nobody has an entrance like a boxer when you walk in there. And it's like, there go the champ, there go the fighter. Let's see what's going to happen. Take us down through walking into the arena, the adrenaline, everything rushing. What's going through your head right there, Lamont?
Man, it's by that time it's go time, but
Yeah.
in an atmosphere like that, it's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. You actually do you see it, but your vision so tunnel.
You tunnel vision.
It's like it's like you in a box. It's like you in a box, and it doesn't get to you, but you definitely can feel the pressure on that box, like doom, 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 doom. Like, you know, everybody there to see y'all right there, them two, the two main event, like the main event right there, and you just know, all right, now it's time to shine. Like, them lights on, it's time to shine.
Like me, I used to like to get my pants dirty. Like, I used to like to make a tackle, like the first play of the game or the second play of the game, because it loosened me up. It's now it's like, all right, it's just another game. Like, as a boxer, do you need to get touched one time before you like, all right, nah, it's just a boxing match. It's just regular. Let me do my regular.
Yeah, it's like, let me do my regular. You can't psych yourself out. You got to do what you used to doing. So that's an importance of training camp too, because necessarily nothing can get you ready for the real thing except the experience. Like,
yes,
that's it. Sparring is two different things from fighting, man. The gloves are half the size, no headgear, and there's, like, you know what I'm saying, you got no shirt on and stuff like that. You feel everything. It's a whole lot different from sparring, and it's a lot more intense. It's a lot more intense. Even if you're doing the hardest sparring in the world, it's a lot more intense in that ring, because it's like, we gotta win. We gotta bank these rounds. We gotta win every round. We have to win. We have to win. We have to win.
So, Lamont, Tank's from Baltimore. You're a DC guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're from DC. You're a Commanders fan. We're going to ask you about that. Your first pro fight was at the DC Armory.
Yes.
What is it like to represent the district here, especially, I know it's at Barclays Center on March the 1st,
District of
but
Champions.
to take on a dude that's just up the road in Baltimore that you know really well?
Man, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And to carry that weight on my shoulders, it feels as though, you know what I'm saying? Because on the outside looking in, it's like, the Commanders are the team of the city. The Wizards are the team of the city. The Capitals are the team of the city. The Nationals, I want to be an entity like that. Even though I'm one person, I feel like I'm an entity like that, and that's how I view it, and I want to be that. So I want to embrace it. I want to do that.
I feel you on that, because the one thing about them B-more boys, they'll tell you we ain't part of the DMV. They like to they like to always say we not part of the DMV. Did you watch? Were you proud of your Commanders this year? Let's go. Tell us how you feel about football season this year.
Man, football season, man. Probably thinking about it, probably bring some tears of joy, man. I was so happy. I was hyped. Man.
And it feels good to finally have a quarterback, man. What you think about Jaden Daniels and the performance he had?
Man, he is a general. He is a general on that field. You can't tell he's a rookie. You know he does his homework. You know he's a student of the game. You know he is in control and a leader on the field. And that's it. And on top of that, one of the most important things, that he is accurate.
Yes.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate.
He's a passer that just happened to run a 4.3. That's what he is. That's legitimately what he is.
Lamont, I want to ask you about, because one thing I know you definitely have in common with a guy like Jaden Daniels is the work ethic, because that's what we've heard about JD5 from the jump, and you were talking about not cheating the grind. So for those of us that aren't really familiar, I mean, boxing is so labor intensive. The work that you put in behind the scenes
yes.
is incredible. Can you give us just kind of an idea of what your typical day of training is like?
Let's go. I'll give you a typical day in training while in training camp for a fight. So basically, I have like a and B schedule,
Okay.
and on the A schedule, it'll be probably my sparring days and cardio. So if I'm sparring, depending on what time I'm sparring, I'll get up, have a breakfast, but you have to time it to the point where you know the food is digested and is able to work for you. Um, get in the gym and I warm up. We have activation drills, warm up the muscles properly, stretch, wrap your hands, get in the mode, get in the zone, warm up, and then you have sparring, depending on how it is, 10, 12 rounds. I even did 14 rounds one day in camp. And after the sparring, you got bag work, mitt work, or any type of cardio, any type of drills to stay active, to stay sharp, to make sure just after those rounds, you still have a little bit more hand foot coordinate, hand foot eye coordination, and then you have your ab work. Yeah, it's right there. Alone, that's one workout in itself in intensity. Then you have stretching after that. Then you have to go to physical therapy me. I have to go to this physical therapy to make sure that everything is okay. Just to work on the muscles that I've been working so hard on the past few weeks or the past couple of days. Then I go home. I'll be able to eat. I get some rest, get in a recovery tub. Then I go back to the gym later to do cardio, whether I'm running or whether I'm on a bike. If I'm on a bike, I'll do about anywhere from 15 to 20 miles on the bike, and if anybody knows, that's really hard right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of pedaling right
pushing
there.
pace.
That's a lot of pedaling right there.
Especially at an intense pace, and then that'll probably be the end of my workout day for that A day. And then we got to get up the next day, 6 a.m. training, strength and conditioning training. Then strength and conditioning training, and then boxing training again. So you have bag rounds, you have shadow boxing, bag rounds, mitt rounds, speed bag rounds, and then ab work again. So it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot.
Yeah, it is. Maybe I watch too many boxing movies or something, but are you going to take your jog through the nation's capital, 2-3 days before the match? And if you are, let me know what time so I can come run behind you, all right?
Oh, man, I got you, man. I got you for sure. Yeah.
Well, Lamont, thanks for being with us. Looking forward to the fight. March the 1st at Barclays Center. That's the date, right?
Yes, sir. March 1st, Barclays Center, Amazon Prime pay-per-view.
And I most definitely want you to give a shout out to James and Pure Water. Most definitely, I told James I'd make sure we was going to talk about Pure Water. So if you want to, give a shout out to James and Pure Water, you can do it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks to James and the Pure Water Company over there, man. They've been fueling me my entire training camp. They've been fueling me with pure water. And it's the best, man. The best hydration in the business. I already said that before. And I just want to give them a good shout out and thanks. Appreciate it a whole lot. They're behind me 110%. I also want to give a shout out to Seals and Recovery too. I'm honored to represent such an establishment. To our former SEALs, and helping them get over anything they have to, not just alcoholism, but anything they have to as well. I'm honored to be a part of that, and I can't wait to hopefully expand and continue our partnership because I love to represent help and change.
John, I want to go back to you for a second. Seals and Recovery, just an absolutely fantastic organization. So like Smoot said at the beginning, thank you for all you do and all you've done. So if you want to get involved in some way, how can you do that?
You can go on our website, sealsandrecovery.com, with some of our social media, and just hit us up. We help everybody. I mentor some NHL guys, some baseball guys. I like to get into the NFL mix. We all suffer from some things in our life, and we'll do outreach to anybody that wants some help.
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, I have to thank you again because I told Jinx, if I went to the military, I would have been a SEAL. I don't believe in going halfway in.
I believe
I'm
that.
going to go all the way in because are the SEALs the 1% of the 1%, right, John?
Yeah, and you would have been a point man with your fleet feet. Light.
That's John Hawley. John, thank you for your time. Lamont, we're thinking about you, man. I know you're repping D.C. We can't wait for the fight. We know you're going to go up there and get it done, so thanks for being with us.
Bring the belt home, champ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will do. Thank you guys, man.
Awesome hearing from those guys.
That was great.
Fight.
That was great.
It's going to be a good one.
Military and boxing, that just works.
Goes together. Yes. And we have an email coming up. Before that, let's pay some bills real quick. Guys, come on. You know about SeatGeek.
You do.
That's our guys. Mm-hmm. Commanders fans, the 2025 football season is on the way, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all of the action. It'll be here in just a few months before you know it. They make it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling tickets to Commanders football games or any other live event in D.C. You got to check out SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. The most disruptive idea in ticketing is a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
And we just talked to Lamont about this. All right. I played sports, so I know how it feels. Mm-hmm. If you could pick any sports to do an entrance into the stadium,
an entrance?
Is it boxing? What sport do Jinx comes out there with his shirt off, towel over his head, just, like what entrance do you always dreamed of making?
Oh, man.
Because I feel like boxing has the best sports
I don't know if anything can top boxing because it's just you.
Well, tennis is just you.
Yeah, but the crowd isn't the same.
It's a bougie crowd.
Yeah.
Rolex crowd.
Yes.
You gotta know what
Rafa.
you're doing.
Yes.
Well,
I'm so excited.
Even though wrestling is fake.
I mean, wrestling will be
They got interests.
The intros are amazing for wrestling.
Basketball pretty much too, especially when you the last guy.
You get the guy.
LeBron throwing up baby powder, what I'm saying?
They say the superstar for last, the build up.
I'm just saying, like different sports. All right. What about when you're a pitcher and you walking into your music?
Like a relief pitcher you're coming in? That's pretty exciting.
Wow, dang. Won't on. Like, listen, even going to the batter's box. If you got your walk-up music, like the fans, if they know your music, they just losing it. So it's some competition there, but boy, if I was a box.
Because here's the thing, boxing is two-part. Not only do the lights go down, the music's playing, the crowd is focused on you. It's a long intro too.
A long walk.
You walk all the way, and then you get the second intro once you get into the ring. Because it'll be like, he's done this, he hails from here. They call him the Rabbit Panther. Hailing from Valdosta, Georgia,
listen.
And the current heavyweight champion of the world. They just build it up,
I'll be just like Tyson. I just come through there with a towel. Just cut a hole in a towel and just walk out with Kendrick Lamar right here beside, because you get to pick your rapper too.
The build up, it's like twice you get.
What if I didn't pick a rapper? What if I walked out with a gospel singer, BB and CC Wine? BB and CC
Wine is walking out with Kirk Franklin right now.
Why did you choose him? Because I want to pray for the other boxer.
Because I'm praying for him.
I'm praying for him. He needs all the Lord he can get. But I think boxing is the best intro. Well, I guess an outro. Intro.
Oh, man.
It's the best in sports.
Yes.
It's the best.
In fact, I can't even say it. You cannot say without getting sued. What? I mean this.
Yeah.
On the podcast, you can't say it. Michael Buffer, the famous announcer, you know his very famous saying, or look it up, you cannot say it. If it airs, you will absolutely get sued. They are incredibly litigious, and they look for it, they listen for it, and I went through, because I have a morning radio show, and we had a whole show. Listen, we need to talk. We have a group meeting. Do not ever say this phrase live. We will get sued, guaranteed. Don't do it. And that comes from boxing.
So is it just like Pat Riley owning the three-peat?
It is, but you can
say three-peat.
You can say it
You can't write it. You can't put. You can't tell. You can't.
But you can't print it, right? You can't promote it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not just trying to be melodramatic. Like, I've had lectures where, like, do not ever do this. Like, we will pay for it.
I just realized that Michael Buffer had a brother.
Yeah, and his brother now is all over UFC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
So if you're a buffer, that's all you do is intro.
I'm telling you,
the
it's
Buffer
crazy.
family. Somebody was a preacher.
Okay, Anna. Email time?
Yes, we ready? Don't forget to leave us your voicemails and your emails. I know it's the off season; things have slowed down, but
I'm sorry that we changed the day. We just did that for a week or two.
Yeah.
We back to our normal standard.
Are we going
time.
back now?
no, we're not.
We're not?
We're staying on Friday.
Staying on Friday? Oh.
I don't think they
Fred's trying to
Thursdays?
keep the peace.
I don't think they're gonna like
No,
it.
I can't do anything. We can't take.
The fans, they've
We'll
been in
be
my
back
DM
in
and
season.
they like to start their week out. We get loud.
I know it's contentious. Consider this my apology video. I
thought you were say consider this my resignation.
Sorry.
And I'm out.
I'm deeply sorry. But Friday's the best day of the week. So Get Loud has to be out on Fridays. The best day of the week.
Okay. Best
We'll
day of
be
the week.
here every single week. But don't forget us. If you have a hot take about it being on Fridays, you can leave your hot take.
Please
about
do.
our
Yes,
show
leave us
being
your
on
hot takes.
Fridays.
Tell us
It's
what you
okay.
prefer.
Tell us, 703-726-7419. Email us, WashingtonGetLoud@gmail.com.
Beautiful.
Once again, sorry, but also not sorry. We can't change until in season. We'll be back to Tuesdays in season. All right. Fred Jenks, this is Willie. Hey guys, again, what an awesome season.
Willie Smith, the
What are you
filth.
guys thinking about free agency in the draft? And what are you guys thinking about our needs and what we should be drafting for?
Free agency? I don't see us going buck wild in free agent.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that's who Adam Peters is. He's just not going to be trying to go to the top liquor shelf and get the top shelf. Look, I think he'll rather stay in the middle shelf and just get a lot of good players.
solid.
Yeah. And to be aggressive, I would love to see Mr. Myles Garrett.
My God. Can you imagine?
But you're going to have to give.
But you will pay.
You will pay.
Yes.
So can I ask you this? Would you take a Myles Garrett knowing that you had to give up first round? Don't forget, we only picking in the 20 and 29.
That's true. That's very true.
Would you rather wait for the Chargers to cut Joey Bosa?
I think I would wait only because I'm not opposed to Myles Garrett at all. He would be incredible. I just don't want it to be at the sacrifice of building the rest of the roster.
Yeah.
And like I want to see. I think we need help on both offensive and defensive lines. We need a wide receiver too for Terry. There's a lot of needs, and so I'll be curious. You can go for the big splash, but you definitely need to have some of those solid pieces ready to go that you plan on signing or can sign to make up for that. It's a tough question.
All right, so T. Higgins is off the board, all right?
They're going to franchise
They're going to franchise him. I can see a Christian Kirk from Jacksonville being a legit two here. You don't have to break the bank for. Debo Samuels, all right? Cooper Kupp. So it's veterans out there you can bring. And don't forget, we still got Luke McCaffrey, who's still developing.
Correct.
All right, so we still does have some youth. You got to ask yourself, which one of the Brown brothers do I want to bring back? Noah or De'Ami?
Yeah.
All right, so it's options there, like to make things happen. And I think free agency start with us, with our own players.
I like that, yeah.
Bobby Wagner. You got to figure out how, what, and when I have to bring him back. All right, you got to ask yourself, what are you going to do with a guy like Fowler?
Or like Jeremy Chin or someone, yeah.
Jeremy Chin, I think, got to be at the top. Priority, like you got to bring Jeremy Chin. Like, so we got our own guys. We got to figure out, do we bring them back? Zach Ertz. I think you got to bring back Zach Ertz. So I think we handle free agency in-house before we go out-house.
I like that.
Well done. So are you guys ready for our next segment?
Yeah, we are.
Let's do it.
It's called Flashback Friday.
Oh, it's Flashback Friday.
All right.
I thought we were going to say it together, but it's just me.
Flashback Friday. Okay, that's a little pathetic.
Yeah,
No, it's good.
It
All
is.
right, so we're going to go through best players and moments from the 2000s.
All right, taking it back.
As we know, our very own Fred Smoot played in this decade.
Yeah.
So we'll start with best opponents from the 2000s. You didn't have to face them personally, but maybe you saw them.
Best opponents. The Rams, the greatest show on turf.
The early 2000s, man.
Listen, unstoppable. Quarterback Hall of Famer, running back Hall of Famer. Both wide receivers, Torrey Holt should get his love, should be in the Hall of Fame. Oz Akeem in the slot.
Oh, I forgot about Oz Akeem. Marshall Faulk was just a witch.
London Fletcher played on that team
sure
also. They just, Dre Bly, they just had it. All right, they just had the it. Even though New England, the Eva Empire, had their way of doing it, nobody did it in style like the Rams. Like, I think at one point the Rams scored 40 points like 10 consecutive weeks.
They were unreal.
When you talk about best team, it was that team until like that Randy Moss New England team.
Yep.
I got beat by them by 40 points. Yeah, but luckily Fred Smoot didn't play that day because I was hurt. It was Bluefoot's fault.
Oh, I was going to ask. Did Randy have a good day?
Randy had a great day. I was on the sideline. I had civilian clothes on.
So that was Sean's fault.
It was most definitely Sean's fault.
What do you think, Jenks?
You know, I mean, the Patriots dominated the decade. I feel like, and this was at the beginning of 2000, if you're just talking about one side of the ball, that Ravens defense, I believe it was the year 2000. I think it was. Where they offensively, they didn't do much and they just didn't have to because you had never seen like Ray was in his bag, like Ed Reed, like those dudes just
Terrell Suggs.
It was just one dude after another coming at you.
Saragusa.
You just couldn't move the ball on them.
Yeah.
Like today's offense, you'd laugh at that offense, and Trent Dilfer, drove the car, but they didn't have to score points
Jamal
because
Lewis was running the ball.
You just didn't move the ball on that Ravens team.
Which defense was better? The Baltimore or that Tampa Bay Bucks? Warren Sapp, Brooks, John Lynch.
I still think it was the Ravens.
You remember what they did to the Raiders in that Super Bowl?
They destroyed Rich Gannon and the Raiders.
They scored maybe 3 or 4 defensive touchdowns in that game. Which, was it the cover 2 defense or was it the blitzing defense of Baltimore?
That's a tough one. And everybody always goes back to the 86 Bears. Like that's like the hallmark.
I believe that Sapp Tampa Bay defense with Brooke and the rest of them guys. All right.
That's a good one, too. I'm trying to think. It's hard to come up with a team. I'm glad you picked the Rams because it was always Patriots, and the Giants, would pop up and beat the Patriots. Yeah. But the Patriots are just so dominant. I mean, you just don't see decades like that in sports. That's why they're a dynasty that is the dynasty of dynasties.
I would say that can't be compared to an NFL right now.
Yeah, it's true.
They just can't.
All right, this next one is most underrated draft pick, the 2000s.
Most underrated draft pick in the 2000s, I would say, would be Chad Ochocinco Johnson. In my draft, which I think me and Santana always brag about our draft, we had one of the most complete drafts of all time. Meaning I think we got a Hall of Famer at every position.
Wow.
All right, you got to realize Drew Brees and Michael Vick are the quarterbacks from my draft. LaDainian Thomas, Deuce McAllister, we got running backs for days in it. Richard Seymour, all these guys are in our draft. We got guys everywhere in that draft, but I felt like when you go value and career, Chad was drafted. Was he drafted 3rd round, 4th round? See, Steve Smith was drafted in the 4th round of that draft.
Steve Smith.
So I think Chad was the most value for a pick because he came in dominant from the door.
He was in the 2nd round.
Also, Travis Kelce, 3rd rounder. Dak, 4th rounder. That's a lot of value for a 3rd and a 4th round pick.
Hey, Ben Coleman this year for us, the offensive lineman. Coleman, we got him in the 3rd round. Yeah. We got a starting left tackle. That says a lot, but I'd probably say Chad, Steve Smith, Antonio Pierce didn't even get drafted in our draft. He was an undrafted free agent. They ended up winning a Super Bowl, so most people would say him.
And you know who is up there too? Is Kirk Cousins. For where he was, remember, he was drafted the same year as RG3, and who would have thought that Kirk is going to have a much longer, much more successful career?
I call him the accountant.
Oh, my God.
Listen to me. He is the accountant. Not being athletic. Kirk Cousins.
That's crazy.
Is the accountant.
Oh my goodness. All right, last one. Most iconic moment for the NFL in the 2000s.
The moment. Some people gonna say it's the catch.
I was going to say David Tyree, right?
It's David Tyree catch. I'm really hung between the Plexico Burrs
And the butt fumble.
The butt fumble, most definitely. Sanchez, it most definitely up there. But the Plexico Burrs corner catch.
Oh, yeah.
The Santonio Holmes.
The Santonio Holmes was huge.
That one right there.
I mean, that won the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Both of these plays won the Super Bowl.
Both of them won the Super Bowl.
So it's between those two to me. But you just can't talk 2000 without throwing Eli Manning in there.
Yeah.
You just can't. Like Eli slayed the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Eli is the kryptonite for the Dark Dynasty.
Yes.
Eli is the light. So basically, any Super Bowl with Eli Manning in it, this is probably the highlight of the 2000s.
You know what's? I read a story about Eli. It's kind of fascinating. Do you remember he passed away? I think over a couple years ago. The hefty lefty Jared Lorenzen. Do you remember him?
I played against him.
Okay,
I picked him out.
So, did you? Okay. So he was a son of Kentucky, and he was a backup for the Giants that year.
Yeah.
And there was a play in a Super Bowl where I forget who it was. It was a Patriots defender was just on Eli's back, and Eli somehow escaped. And I think it might have been that pass to Tyree.
And
throws it right. And I had read later that Eli said, in practice, because Jared he was massive.
Yeah.
They would have him come at me and hang on me or come after me.
Yeah.
And I was so accustomed to a big guy being on me, I would escape him and throw. And that was exactly what happened to me in the Super Bowl. And he kind of credited Jared Lorenzen saying, you know what? He worked with me on practice and I was accustomed to that situation.
That's love right there.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Jared Lorenzen. I played against him while he was at Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
300-pound quarterback, people. Go check him out. And he wore number 22.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he wore 22.
Well, I guess, okay, last little question I have for both of you is most electric memory from the 2000s for Washington.
Probably my first game ever. Marty Schottenheimer coached me up. Rest in peace, Marty Schottenheimer. I'd never forget walking out on that field pregame. Because, it's still your first game as a rookie, so you're still kind of starstruck.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm watching Doug Flutie warm up like, I'm going to have to pick off the Flutie. All right? Then I remember looking over to the left, winking at LaDainian because we had just classmates.
You come out together, yeah.
Watching Junior Seau. I'm like, it's got to be two of him out there. Like, just dominate a game.
Mm-hmm.
For young Fred Smoot to go out there and become an NFC Player of the Week. Really did it for me. Amongst all these stars.
But you were the biggest star.
I shined the brightest as I got my first career interception.
Oh, my God, you called it.
And I got a first career fumble recovery. I had 8 tackles. I was all over the place.
That's mine, too. First game for Fred Smoot, baby.
Hey, my coach Marty Schottenheimer believed in me. Felt like I could do it. And that's all you need sometimes, somebody to believe in.
Amen to that. That is Fred Smoot. I'm Michael Jenkins. Thanks for being with us here on the Get Loud podcast. Email us, send us a phone call, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed by our podcast guests and or hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Washington Commanders or any of their representatives.